Good morning. This is Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And, of course, the program replays in its entirety on Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. And many of you, of course, are watching it on your computers at home, around the world. That's where you can catch the program. Mm-hmm. And, of course, the other method, your iPhone, your iPad.
Right.
In other words,
Android, all of them.
No excuse not to watch the Bobby Dupre Show. We hope there's no excuse. My sidekick here, Andrew Gitros.
Good morning.
And several nice things happened while we were gone, and of course, a few deaths occurred, and we'll talk about those. And you get any update? Has any of your cardinal friends contacted you on the selection of the Pope? I don't think the conclave has officially opened.
Right. You know what conclave means? That's when you close it with a key. Mm-hmm. So they haven't been closed in with the key yet, but what they do is they have meetings for about as long as a week before, and then they get to know each other, because a lot of these guys, they're stationed all over the world, so they're having to take some time to get those friendships moving. That way, when they get into vote, they'll know better who they're talking about and who they're dealing with. So could be, the word I'm hearing now, it could be as late as the 15th before they go into conclave, still over a week away.
Yeah, today is just the 6th on Wednesday.
Correct.
So 10 days, that's a long time.
They closed the Sistine Chapel yesterday to the public and start getting it ready.
They're going to be fighting each other by then.
You think so?
Oh, they're going to be swinging. It's a big job. Nobody wants it, that's what they say.
Right.
But everybody's fighting for it.
But the second in command,
it's kind of like the ducks under the water.
Right.
They're paddling.
Nobody wants to be the president, but everybody likes to have their friend be the president. You see, so they get the job they want, and that's kind of how this works too, I'm sure.
Well, anyhow, we hope that the selection made is someone that can be a good leader. And the church, like I guess the rest of the world, has some situations. We're not going to say problems, but situations that need to be tended to.
Need strong leadership. And I think the American Cardinals have been very impressive in this thing. The one from Galveston, that's new. We've never had one from Galveston before. That's Cardinal DiNardo. It's Galveston and Houston, and Boston, and San Francisco, and New York. Cardinal Dolan. So they're putting a good image on the American church, which I think is great.
Well, let's talk about something we know a little bit more about.
Closer to home.
That's correct. And last Thursday night, we left Thursday afternoon for our annual retreat in Grand Couture. And we'll show you a few pictures and talk a little bit about it later. But one of the big events that we miss each year now is the Chamber banquet that honors outstanding citizens in our community. And as you mentioned, all 5 of them that are pictured here in this picture are good friends of ours.
That's right, good close friends. I think we run a lot with all of them.
We didn't stuff the ballots. I just made a vote. Chamber of Commerce Award recipients are Richard and Carol LaFleur, well-known citizens here in the Opelousas area, and successful business, I might add, Guaranty Glass. Right. So they've been in the community on an active role. And then in the last 10 or so years, they got heavily involved in the honoring of that relative, Father Vervis LaFleur, who was killed in the Second World War. And so they've got to be well known in the community.
And it's sort of unique. They pick a man and a woman each year for Citizen of the Year, and they have to pick, the man and the woman happen to be married to each other this year.
Married to each other. And Paula Martinez Mills is the Chamber Person of the Year, and we talk about her pretty often because she has been very active in the grand opening ceremonies that are sponsored by the Chamber, and they visit, and she's almost always in those pictures. So she works for a company that does a lot of this type of work in the community, LHC Group, and we'll talk about them as soon as I name the other 2 recipients. And Sabrina Solin, Woman of Excellence Award, and she, of course, is with Clico. Clico is a Louisiana-based company out of Pineville, Louisiana. And Sabrina's been very active in the community, does a great job. And then the Humanitarian of the Year, I don't think they could have picked a better person. There's a lot of people that are qualified for it, but better would be Keith Hebert. We got to knowing Keith. Keith is heavily involved, I guess, in trying to goodwill amongst men. And ladies get invited too, but he holds a monthly mass. I say he holds.
He organizes it.
He organizes it, has organized it for some time now, and does a lot of community work, does a lot of work around Opelousas Catholic, where his wife, Kathy, is an employee there for many, many years.
When you hear anything about these triathlons between running and biking and all that type of thing, he's always very involved in those events as well.
So, great choices, and we want to congratulate him. Sorry it wasn't there, but we taken this means, and we truly mean what we're saying here. We know them well, and they're very, very deserving. Why don't you get the LHC group?
I can do that right at this moment. LHC group, all your home health care needs. If you're looking for anything from the nurses to the therapists to any of the equipment, that's the lift chairs, the special beds, the oxygen equipment. If you need to get a therapist in your home or a nurse in your home, they can handle all that for you as well. They've got the Health and Wellness Center here in Opelousas off of Heather Drive. Locations throughout all of the United States. They're affiliated with local hospitals to help you get extended care when you're going from that intense hospital stay to that progression to try to get you home as soon as possible. Louisiana Healthcare Group, all about helping people. And how about one more? Let's hit, let's go with Carl's Thrifty Way. If you're looking for medicine, you know, of course, if you've seen your doctors and all that, you probably need a little medicine too. Carl's Thrifty Way can help fill that prescription for you. Over-the-counter medications there as well. They can take the time with you and explain to you perhaps what your doctor hasn't had the time for you to talk to you about, or maybe questions that you didn't get a chance to ask about your medicines that you remember when you get to the pharmacy. They can do that for you. Great gift wrapping, monogramming, gift shop, and home decorating ideas. They'll even do these big wreaths. You know, Easter's right here, and a good time to go by there. They'll make those huge, beautiful Easter decorations for you.
And when Carl's in, and he's in most of the time, it appears, he's filling prescriptions, but he's also speaking with each of his clients, his customers when they come in. Does a great,
I don't know how many times I've seen him behind the counter. He usually comes in the front of the counter to come talk.
Yep. They had a nice article both in the Daily World and, of course, in the sister company over in Lafayette, the Daily Advertiser. We got you. And when you say we got you, you automatically think of Jim Tapman. Jim Tapman Mobile Homes. And Jim started this business. He was working with the gas company, United Gas, I think was the name of it back in those days, and successfully built a very friendly business, and does his advertising with We Got You, and it's a trademark that's well known and well respected in the area. And of course, I've been able to know Jim and his wife Louise ever since back in those days, and we spent a lot of time doing various things, always having a good time. And he started out as a shoe shine boy on the streets of New Orleans, Canal Street, the big street there.
His father had gone there in search of work. The family had moved there.
That's correct. And it has a real great article about him and his shoe shine box. And of course, that reminds me of my shoe shine box. I was supposed to bring it to show my shoe shine box. His is real old, made it himself, and I made mine. I was probably 10, 12 years old back in those days. Mom and Daddy had a little rooming house next door, which was just a house, and about 13 guys would sleep in that little house. And I would bother them and bother the customers at the school cafe, let me shine their shoes, 10 cents. And I still have the 10 cents written on that, and that's what he has here on his box, 10 cents.
Now, didn't you say your dad had gone to New Orleans to work as well when the Higgins Boat project had started?
Project, that's correct.
Y'all stayed here, or did y'all follow?
No, we went there. His mama, T-Mom, we called her, Armand Dupre, had a rooming house, a boarding house on Tulane Avenue, across from Tulane University Medical School. And we stayed there while Daddy was working. I only remember very, very little because I was very young at that time.
And it was a short period of time.
Yeah, well, that's correct. And what I remember is there was hardly any. It was a small backyard, and they could trust me because there was nowhere else to go. It was all fenced in.
Right.
So that I remember, and the moon pies. I remember that's when I got
That's New
introduced to
Orleans,
moon pies. Was back in those days. But getting back to Jim Tapman, Jim, you can certainly be very proud of the business you've built up. You have an office here, and I say you, it's actually children and grandchildren now that
so.
run the business and own the business. So
It changed the way people looked at mobile homes. It went from being just a cheap way to start, and then it went from a trailer to a mobile home.
That's
is what
right,
it did.
yeah.
I mean,
and today it's a manufactured home.
Correct.
And use of heavy timber, 2x4s, 2x6, 2x8s.
Heavy insulation.
And the whole 9 yards. Real nice. So, Jim, you led the way, and you've been successful not only in making money, but making friends and doing for the community. Thanks. And while we were gone, something else happened that I have a little tie to that, and that was Bishop Curtis Guillory came over to our community over in Lawtell, the St. Anne's Catholic Church in Marlette there.
This is a picture at one of the parishes back in his diocese when you had visited with him.
That's correct.
What, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years
Oh,
now?
no, it's been
Longer than that?
Yeah, that's been quite a few years ago now. That was in either Louisville. I think it was in Louisville, Texas, but could have been Kerrville. And that picture was taken, and I'm proud of that picture because that's one of the few pictures I have. Bishop Jarrell, of course. I do have a picture with Bishop Jarrell, our own local bishop, but it was so strange. The reason that the Bishop Guillory was in this particular small church at that time, it was confirmation, and the bishops are asked to make every attempt they can to attend as many of these as they can each year. And he was doing his duties of being there. And what you call the cane, I know you know the name.
A crow's ear.
A crow's ear, okay.
Crow's ear is how it's
And
pronounced.
he's holding that, and he was really surprised and happy to visit with somebody that
From back home.
Yeah, knew some of
He
his
was
people.
raised right down in Mallet, and he's been a priest now for, what, over 50 years now?
Well,
Is it that?
no,
Is it
25.
50? Is it 25?
Well, celebrate
no.
of his ordination.
His 25th anniversary of his ordination as bishop or as priest?
No, I don't know. It looks like he
Connais pas.
kind of food.
He's
It
a
says
full-grown-
25th.
Yeah, but he's a full-grown man. I've been out of school
Anyhow,
for 25
the
years.
Mass was held last Sunday at 2 o'clock, and we were just
Getting back from retreat.
Getting back from retreat. I didn't get to go, and I really felt bad that I didn't, but hopefully somebody could mention to him, and he could look up the program on the computer.
He was very involved in setting up seminaries, helping to get more young men into the priesthood.
He served a number of years, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wouldn't have known Francis Pecora, because Francis Pecora
down in New Orleans.
In New Orleans, Francis Pecora raised money every around the birthday for Bishop Carman, who's from Opelousas here. And when he was over there, I would say that he would probably have met Francis Pecora.
We'll take a 1-minute break, folks. We're going to see you on the other side of one.